Medicine for the Soul. My name is Siu Chen. I am a hypnotherapist and artist. Hello everyone, welcome to my very first episode. This is not the first time myself running a podcast show. This is my personal podcast show. So thank you very much for coming. In today's episode, I am going to talk about my childhood dream and give everybody a very brief idea who I am. So there we go. I'm originally from Taiwan. At the moment, I'm living in the UK, and I was born in Taiwan. I grew up in Taiwan. I came to live in the UK in 2017, which is quite a number of years ago, nearly 10 years. I've been living in the UK for this long, and I think I would say now the UK is my home. So as many of you know, that Taiwan is a small island right next to China. Let's not talk about the politics today, but I would like to share, if you were born in a small place like Taiwan, I think Britain is about 7 to 8 times bigger than Taiwan on its own. If you were born and grew up in a relatively smaller island like Taiwan, I noticed many people like me, we have a very interesting, shall we say, phenomenon. I call it an islander's view. If you happen to be an islander like I am from a smaller place, the point here I'm trying to make is you have this kind of feeling of wanting to get out and have a look at the world. You want to step out. You're quite curious about what's around you because Taiwan is surrounded by the sea. Like many countries, like actually Britain, United Kingdom, it's just Britain on its own, or Ireland, or many other countries in the world. While when you are mainly surrounded by the sea, you become curious. You want to know what other places are like. So yes, this has been rooted really deeply in me. So ever since I was a child, I just felt the very strong calling of getting out of this island, going somewhere else. So I came to the UK. I did my master's degree in Leicester. But then that's a long time ago. That's in 2009. That study, it became an eye-opening experience to see who I really am. That was also the first time ever I really went to other countries. In the sense that year before that, I went as far as Beijing, the capital city of China, because my brother studies BA in China. That's back to probably 2003 or 4, a long time ago. My mom took me when I finished my BA. She took me to visit my brother. That was the first time I actually, age 20-something, actually saw aeroplane, went to airport and actually stepped out of the island. The second time then was in 2009 when I first came to England and did my degree here. So this whole journey, just especially the year I came to study in England, really opened up the very strong calling of wanting to know who I am, who I truly am, what is this world about. I had no idea. So therefore, here I am. That's why I'm here today. Next, I would like to talk about my childhood, the dream I had as a child and grew slightly older. So when I was a little girl, I always dreamed to become a fashion designer, like many other girls, young girls. The reason for it, when I was that young, I thought it was because I am creative, and as a girl, I had a dream. I played Barbies, like many other girls. I was a girly girl, put it this way. Um, so I had a really strong interest into fashion design. So when I did my high school, my age in Taiwan, I'm 40 something now, but back to that long ago, when I was finishing my about like GCSE kind of age, going into kind of A level kind of age, I thought I would do like fashion design or a clothing design kind of thing. But in the end, I didn't. In the end, I went to a high school and I did graphic art, sort of design rather than fashion or textile kind of area. So I went that way instead. But then I still remember my childhood dream was fashion design, because every time when I can still remember that when I saw on TV when I was little, when I saw TV show or anything to do with runway shows, like many other girls, you just feel, ooh, this is what I want. Oh, that's so fabulous. I just want to be on the stage or want to design something, let my models let them wear and walk. I understand the feeling, the excitement many girls have. And when I grew older, that's my childhood dream. So carry on to be older when I became a young adult, like, for example, my early 20s, late teen, early 20s, early 20s. My dream then switched. It became to be a TV presenter. My dream when I was younger, in my early 20s, I always wanted to do like a TV show presenter, and specifically for that type of, not any TV show, it's that type of TV show. You go to visit places, you travel around the world. Basically, I wanted to become Simon Calder when I was younger. I still remember when I was younger, I often watched this kind of TV show. While before nowadays, you have YouTube and lots social media, you can see how people introduce places. We only had the chance to watch on TV, to see the world. So it was such a massive thing to me when I was younger. I just dreamed about, imagine myself being in places and introduce food, like culture, like language, like everything. That was my dream. So just funny enough, nothing to do with therapy or hypnotherapy or nothing to do with what I'm doing nowadays when I'm in my 40s. But that's okay. Well, looking back, I think it's really interesting to review what you had when you were younger. So, it's the most interesting thing for me when looking back now is to find those two big ideas I had when I was a child and I was younger. Is I actually see myself, the younger self, had a same, I wouldn't call it an issue, but kind of maybe is. I was living in the state for so long of seeking for approval. And that is to do with my childhood and my family background and how I grew up in the family, my position in the family, my entire childhood, what I went through. So this is quite interesting. Another thing about this is I also see myself in this process. For example, like the fashion design dream when I was a child. Actually, nothing to do with fashion. Not much to do with any strong interest into knowing different clothes or wearing something. It's not. It's more of I wanted the pride. I really, really hoped to be seen and to be understood and to be on the runway, the stage, to be accepted. I think that I think it came from my childhood, because I'm from a very big family, which is quite common, my generation in Taiwan. many families and people like me in their 40s in Taiwan, many families, you just have like two, three, four children. It's quite common, three. Okay. So, and especially if you live like me, you live with your father's siblings, and which then form a massive family. So many of us together. I just felt I wanted to be seen. I wanted to be heard, and I wanted to be really, really cared. That's how that period of time, my childhood, and when I saw fashion show on TV, and you can imagine why that became a really, really big dream to me, and later became, my dream switch. Like I say, I dreamed to become a TV presenter, to be able to see different places, because back to my childhood and younger life, I felt being trapped. I felt I didn't receive the care and the attention from the adults in the family. Therefore, I had the very strong feeling of wanting to escape the family, escape the lifestyle I had. But to be honest, when this 40-something-year-old me, now looking back my childhood, I was actually well protected. Maybe I didn't receive a lot of care and attention because there were so many of us living together. But I was protected. My life wasn't bad at all. However, when you are in it, it is different. And I totally understand that. So nowadays, I work with a lot of teenagers and young people. I see some of them struggle, and when you talk to them, and then they describe how terrible they feel about the family, about situations, it is very understandable, yes, because when I was in it, I was feeling pretty the same, feeling really trapped, feeling not quite, this is not the life I want. Therefore, TV presenter, like our dream, it was a massive reflection about the period of time when I was a young adult. I wanted to get out of Taiwan because I wanted to see the world. It's because I was curious now as well. And also because I came out the family. I went into university in Taiwan, but the studying, the culture, everything, the politics in the uni and everything, I had a really, shall we say, quite challenging time experiencing everything. So as a young adult, I then, started this calling again, feeling like, oh, this is maybe not what I want. Maybe I should get out of this. Where can I go? Seeking for more of a skepticism and wanting to find other ways of living. While I couldn't, because I had to finish a degree. It is, under Chinese culture, this is quite important to have your degree in the society. So that's why I had to carry on. And that's also why I felt the such calling of getting out of something. Therefore, TV show and this kind of TV presenter dream came up in my life that period of time. So we're coming to the end of this episode now. I tend not to make each episode too long. There might be some longer ones, but today this is the very first one. I would like to keep it shorter. So here is the very, very end. The ending of this episode is I would like to ask you, if you are listening, hello, what was your dream? What's the dream that your younger self had? Let's have a review and define what's underneath. Did it remind you of anything, like period of time in your life? What did you have and who you were? And how about who you are now? What's your age? Maybe age doesn't really matter. But then I think this is a question for you to think, when I was younger, maybe you used to dream to become a vet, maybe because that younger self, like you, actually behind this, it was wanting for something question mark. Or maybe I don't know. If you would like to share your younger dream with me and what's your reflection, it would be fabulous. I can't wait to hear what people say about this. Might actually help you actually come across something different or something you had never thought of before. Okay, so this is the end of it, and thank you for listening, the very first one. And I hope you stay in this channel, show. Thank you, and see you next time.